the BMW 320i M Sport. I mean, what can I say? It's served us well for about 2 years now, and it's magnificent in pretty much every way. There are a few issues that we've picked up on, and that's why I'm making this video. It's going soon. We're going to miss it. But there is a new car, and I will drop a video on that very, very soon, so watch this space. But let's talk about this. So, exterior design. What do I think? Magnificent. I mean, there are creases everywhere you look to give that more aggressive kind of vibe. At the back here, we've got a sporty rear bumper exclusive to the M Sport models with twin tailpipes, which look pucker. Around the side, we have more creases. I'm not so sure about this sort of double crease over here. They're maybe an inch or two apart. A bit too complicated, but otherwise very, very nice. Down here, we have this super cool looking lower sill and black window trim surrounds, which I love. This car is in mineral white metallic, which I think is brilliant. However, I would probably get Portimao blue to stand out a little bit more, but if you were going to get the white, please don't go for the solid, get this metallic. At night time, it's more of a pearly kind of effect. It really stands out. In the daytime, you can't really tell that it's metallic, but yeah, magnificent colour. We've also got the tinted windows, or what BMW like to call the sun protection glass. An extra £320, and you know what? Well worth it. Sure, it makes the inside slightly darker, but it looks really, really good, and it really completes that bad boy look of the M Sport. So, what's my favourite part of the design? Back here, it just looks so aggressive with these 3D design rear lights, which have a slight tint as well. So let's quickly talk about the front bumper design. Brilliant. You've got a really aggressive front bumper, this being the M Sport model, and you have got chrome around the grille surrounds, which you can change to black, but for that you have to get the M Sport Pro version, which does add stuff like 19-inch wheels and adaptive damping on the suspension, but I really wish they could just include black surrounds as standard. Overall though, I think it looks really good. There are M badges around the side which do look good in some senses, but I'd just take them off if I were you. It just attracts unnecessary attention. Engines then. This is the 320i, the sweet spot of the range. It has a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo engine with 180 horsepower, and in the 330i it's the same engine just tuned to 250 horsepower. Don't go for the 318i, it's a little bit underpowered for this kind of car. 0 to 60 for that is over 8 seconds. This will do it in a good 7.1 seconds, and the 330i's 0 to 60 is just under 6 seconds. This has enough performance, I think. You can get an N340i version with a 3-litre straight 6 and mild hybrid technology. That will do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, I want to say. Absolutely brilliant car that is, but the 320i is probably going to be enough for most people. Wow! So stick with this. It's married to an 8-speed ZF automatic gearbox on any one that you get, whether that's the complete base model 3 Series or the sport version, or even the M3 uses this same gearbox just tuned to be slightly more aggressive. It's a brilliant gearbox, seamless gear shifts, and power's there when you need it. So overall, I like it. Here on the inside of the 320i, what can I say? It's magnificent. There aren't too many cheap feeling plastics, and well, I like it. I think it's a really ergonomic design. You've got a screen over here which is slightly angled towards the driver. Remember, this is the ultimate driving machine after all, right? Which means basically you can operate it completely fine via the touchscreen. And I love this. I think too many cars are missing this nowadays. A swivel pad, or whatever you want to call it. It's really nice to have this because it's dangerous when you're driving and you're trying to fiddle around with the touchscreen when actually you can just hold on to that, and it's easier in my opinion. The steering wheel, it's really good. It's got a really thick feel to it. Now, for some people, they probably would prefer a thinner feel to it, but I like the thickness. I think it encourages sporty driving safely, of course. Remember, drive safely. But you've got a fully digital dashboard in front of you. Though, when I say it's fully digital, it's slightly pointless because you can't customize it very much. Two fixed dials, which are digital on either side, a rev counter on the right and a speedo on the left. When you change it into Eco Pro mode and Sport mode, they might change colours and change information slightly, but the two halves, or not the two halves, 2/3 of it are fixed. You can't change it. So the middle third is customizable. And you can change different things with it. You can adjust your music, you can show the route for the navigation system, and it is helpful. I just wish there was more customization. But yeah, it's good. The actual wheel itself, as I said, was really good. You've got these paddle shifters over here, slightly plasticky, but it's fine. This little gear selector here is good. It's a little bit small for if you want to take control with manual gear changes yourself, but it'll be fine for most people. The infotainment system. This uses BMW's iDrive 7. There will be a facelift coming out probably later this year. And that will use BMW's curved display, the iDrive 8, which is very Mercedes-like. But this is fine. It has a good navigation system, comes standard with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a built-in Spotify system, which is quite good actually. I mentioned earlier about the different drive modes. You have Comfort, Eco Pro and Sport as standard. Comfort is fine. For most people it'll be comfortable enough because it's on slightly smaller wheels anyway. As soon as you upgrade to the 19s, it comes with the adaptive damping. But yeah, it's a comfortable car and sporty when it needs to be. You've got the hotkeys over here, which are really, really nice. You can fully customize them. Seat heating, of course. There is no CD player because that's quite old-fashioned. 2-zone automatic climate control and electric windows all around. But that's pretty standard stuff. So automatic dimming on the driver's side mirror and on this center mirror over here, but not on the passenger side mirror. When you reverse, the passenger side mirror does dip down, so you can get a good view of the curb. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. Oh, actually, there is a reversing camera as standard on this thing, which is great, as well as a self-steering park assist, which is pretty much going to be useless for most people. They'll never use it, maybe once to show off to their mates, and that's it. You've also got this weird aluminium effect as standard. I would personally change that to something else, like the wood, the black wood, that is, or... No, don't change it to piano black. You have got cup holders here, good storage over here with a USB-C port, and a USB-B, I think it is over here, and a 12-volt socket as well. Good stuff, what can I say? The seats themselves have a lot of adjustability in them, and you have fore and aft position as well. My favourite feature about it though is you have adaptive side bolsters, so you can get them to give you a massive warm hug or just leave them alone. But overall, they're really, really supportive, and as standard you get contrasting white stitching, which is good. But the man-made black leather is really dark. Of course, it's black, what do you expect? But with no option for a panoramic sunroof, only a sunroof here on the front, it does get a little bit dark in the back. Speaking of which, here in the back you get good leg room with good amount of space to put your feet underneath. Good headroom. I'm 5'8", so good space back here. And it is a little bit dark because of the tinted windows. You'd be surprised how much light it blocks from getting inside, but it'll be good for most people. But overall back here, with the lack of sunroof, it is quite dark. You do get this little thing which you can put down, armrest, which is nice. 2 cup holders as well. Good sized door bins for you to put water bottles and face masks and stuff. You do get single zone climate control back here, which is very useful, and the white stitching continues as well. It is a little bit blocked in terms of view from the back because these headrests are quite, oh god, big, but yeah, I like it. And space-wise, I think there was more, no, there was less in the W205 C-Class that we had before. Boot space. It's decent. I mean, I think it's one of the biggest in its class. I can't say for sure how big it is in litres, but I will put it right over here when I edit the video. It's easy to load in and out of. You have this sort of plastic sill here, so you don't really scratch anything. And it's very, very deep, much deeper than that of our W205 C-Class. It is quite easy to fold down the rear seats. You just pull these two here, come around the side, and you just push them down. And I'll do that right now so you can see how large that is. So yeah, a lot of space, and it's relatively flat, but there is a bit of a hump over there. But I think it's good. Good for most people, but if you need more boot space, go for the Estate. And as we all know, Estates are cooler than saloons anyway, so why wouldn't you? If you don't want to fold down all 3 seats at the same time, you can fold down the middle seat only, which is a good system. I'll show you that right now. So if you plan on taking your BMW skiing, then you have got space to put your skis through right there. But if you are going to go skiing, do consider the X-Drive version of the 320i. It does slow you down a little bit in terms of acceleration, but it does give you that extra stability, which would be really useful in the snow. Finally, let's talk about pricing. Your bog standard 3 Series, which I believe is the 316i SE, don't take my word for it, but that starts at around £32,000. This M Sport is £36,000. You get a lot of standard dynamic lighting, metallic paint, black window trim surrounds, aggressive front and rear bumpers exclusive to the M Sport, these really, really cool wheel designs as I mentioned earlier, as well as a magnificent 300 watt stereo system, ambient lighting, and a load of other goodies, including Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You should really, really consider getting one if you're in the market for this kind of car. I think in terms of its competition, the C-Class, well, good luck trying to get your hand on one of those in the midst of this chip shortage. A4, well, it's just a bit, it screams a bit too much accountant or businessman to me. And Alfa Giulia, if you want something that's the ultimate driver's car, that's the only thing that can beat this, but apart from that, this is a better all-rounder. And Volvo S60, well, it's front-wheel drive and very minimalistic, and I don't know about you, but I'm not into that kind of thing. The 320i is a brilliant all-rounder. If I was going to get one, I'd probably get the Estate with the X-Drive, which I think is really, really good, with the Portimao Blue. And there are a few packages you might want to consider. You have the technology package, which adds a Harman Kardon stereo system, gesture control, and I think it adds a dash cam as well. Technology Plus, which adds adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, those kind of things. And then you have the premium or comfort package, I want to say, that adds stuff like an electric tailgate, as well as, I believe, keyless entry. And you also have the comfort or premium plus, that also adds stuff like heated steering wheel and a few other bits and bobs. But the one you do want to go for, the package you do want to check out for sure, is probably going to be the M Sport Pro package. Adding the 19-inch wheels, the damping for the suspension, really completely transforms the car from a pretty decent saloon into a sporty feeling saloon. But that's not to say this car does not feel sporty. In fact, you know what? Don't go for the M Sport Pro package if that really isn't your cup of tea. But the Technology Plus package for me is the one package which I would definitely go for. Adds a lot of stuff which I think would be very useful for a lot of people. Metallic paint, obviously brilliant. Do go for a slightly brighter interior. Red leather interior, I am a massive fan, and that will come across when you see the new car. I will not drop any more hints. You've probably seen it already in some of the shots, but if you can guess what it is, do drop a comment in the comment box below. And do you agree with my thoughts on the 320i? I personally think it's magnificent, but let's have a quick summary as to a few little problems about it. I mentioned earlier the chrome surrounds of the grille. Not a big fan. The rear seats in black are a little bit too dark, even with that white stitching contrast. Especially the rear of the car is really, really dark, so not a big fan. There are a few rubber kind of textures around the car in the inside. Not exactly a bad thing, but the pure leather is probably a better option. It makes it feel more high quality. The aluminium trim on the inside, not a big fan of that either. But overall, it's a good car. Good bang for buck, and you won't be disappointed if you get one. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please do consider dropping a like, subscribing. Yes, I know. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Goodbye.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thought.